Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of BTTH The Flame Emperor Part 55 based on novel. So let's start. The blood-colored vortex in the sky had just formed, and the evil spirits, just a little bit, and they were instantly submerged in the blood-colored vortex. As the evil spirits were submerged in the blood-colored vortex, the constant stream of ghosts in the entire Yin corpse forest was also madly pouring into the blood-colored vortex. Without exception, their bodies were extremely inflated, and then they exploded when they came into contact with the blood-colored vortex. With the mad influx of ghosts, the blood-colored vortex in the sky is also becoming more and more solid and growing. Stop it for me. Yu Quan also shouted loudly, and then restrained the red leaves that were about to move in one fell swoop. Yu Quan, I'm not finished with you. Hong Ye also shouted angrily. Hong Ye turned her head, and couldn't bear to watch her own blood swirl into the sky one by one. There seemed to be some crystal tears in her beautiful eyes. Do you want to give up all your achievements? Yu Quan snorted coldly. Hong Ye is also considered to be self-made. These subordinates have been with her for a long time. Hong Ye also can't bear it. It's really a wrong step, a wrong step. Hong Ye also shook his head, but there was some extremely terrifying killing intent in his eyes. It's almost time. Twin Ghost Emperor. Yu Quan also laughed, then looked at the humans on the ground. Most of the fighting chi in the body was almost practical, so he looked at the sky with peace of mind. This yin and evil is really generous. In Xiao Yang's mind, an admiring voice also sounded. Huh. Xiao Yang was concentrating on the compression of soul power and spiritual power at this time, so he didn't notice the changes in the sky too much, but Xiao Yang still felt a wave from the terrifying blood-colored vortex. A very evil aura of destruction. Have you seen the blood-colored vortex above the sky? That's a ghost skill that can only be used by twin ghost emperors. Death is terrifying. The Golden Dragon King also said slowly. Death is terrifying. Xiao Yang was also quite surprised. Obviously he did not expect this to be the last power of the twin ghost emperors. Previously, with the help of his master, the Golden Dragon King, Xiao Yang felt an extremely tyrannical fluctuation from the deepest part of the dead yin and evil body. The power of the source composition. As expected of a twin ghost emperor. Xiao Yang also muttered. Obviously, he also felt an extremely terrifying power from the growing blood-colored vortex. Once absorbed by the evil, the power of the evil has returned to its peak, and those present will also. However, Xiao Yang was too busy to deal with it, so he had to deal with a few forces in his hands, because Xiao Yang also wanted to see how his full strength blow could reach various levels. Since this Soul Eater talisman is an evil soldier in the ghost world, it should also have an extremely tyrannical restraint effect on evil spirits. Xiao Yang said, and a dark force in his hand also emerged from the Soul Eater talisman. Then all of them merged into the Lotus of Silence in his hand. Several powers of completely different nature were brewed in Xiao Yang's hands, and they were slowly merging. Xiao Yang had absolute confidence. Once these powers were successfully merged, their destructive power would be stronger than any previous attack. It's just that Xiao Yang didn't realize that when the dark mysterious power of the Soul Eater talisman was injected into the previous soul power and spiritual power, the black energy seemed to have gained absolute control, suppressing the soul power and spiritual power. They are all retreats. Above the sky, Chang Yu's eyes were slightly solemn when he saw the evil appearance. In the sky at this time, an extremely terrifying blood-colored vortex is slowly taking shape. This is. Chang Yu also shrank his pupils tightly. Obviously he didn't expect it. I didn't expect this evil spirit to be so willing. Don't hesitate to spend the power of the entire Yin corpse forest. The slightly weak Nine Souls monument on the side also spoke slowly. After the Nine Souls monument finished speaking, Hudu and Wujiang also wrinkled their eyes slightly, obviously also shocked by Yinshi's tactics. Big Tiger, what is this? Mu Yingying also felt an extremely terrifying force from the blood-colored vortex in front of her. This is the furnace method of the ghost world. Fusing the power generated by self-destruction to generate enough terrifying power to allow this evil spirit to devour it back to its peak. Tianhua Xingyang also said indifferently, but the voice in his mouth was extraordinarily solemn. This? Mu Yingying bit her lips when she heard the words. Obviously she didn't expect this evil spirit to be so terrifying. Immediately, the jade hand raised slightly, as if to show something. Don't worry, there are hours. Seeing this, the heavenly fire sacred tiger was also stopped by an extremely soft flame energy that stopped Mu Yingying's actions. Although I don't know who you are, I like the flame on you very much. There is an indescribable kindness on your body, so if I am here, Ju won't hurt you. Tianhua Xinghu also grinned. But Mu Yingying was about to speak just now, but the four people above the sky moved. Go. Chang Yu snorted coldly. As Chang Yu's words fell, the Nine Soul Monument, Tianhua Sacred Tiger, Hudu and Wujiang were also monstrous, and they said they launched an attack. Burning Incense Palm. Chang Yu took the lead in launching the attack. The red robe was filled with terrifying red flames, and then the next moment, 100 zhong-sized palm print attacked the blood-colored vortex above the sky viciously. The huge palm print composed of Do-Chi cages attacked the blood-colored vortex above the sky. As soon as it attacked the blood-colored vortex, a monstrous flame energy erupted. Yu read www.ukungshu.com and then a blood-colored ghost in the blood-colored vortex also fought fiercely. Break me. Seeing that his attack was intercepted, Chang Yu's blue veins burst out immediately, and then Do-Chi appeared in his hands, and he squeezed fiercely in his hand, and suddenly the huge flame palm print not far away exploded. At this time, there was no damage in the blood-colored vortex, but the terrifying fireball of the heavenly fire sacred tiger came in an instant. In addition to the joint fighting skills of Hudu and Wujiang, the three forces attacked one after the other in the same place in the ***** whirlpool. Even the strength of the blood-colored vortex could not withstand the three attacks that filled the sky, so just after they succeeded, there was a brief stagnation around the blood-colored vortex, and a gap appeared. The attack of the Nine Souls Monument also came in an instant. At this time, the Do-Chi in the Nine Soul Monument has been used more than half, but it is still glowing with red light, and then raises the fairy sword in his hand, a strong breath accompanied by the purification power above the fairy sword, attacking fiercely in the above a small gap in the blood-colored vortex. With the red light and the attack of the gap in the blood-colored vortex, a monstrous howl of ghosts and wolves suddenly emanated from the blood-colored vortex. You don't have to do useless struggles. The ghost skill I used with the power of my life, fear of death. It's not you who can crack it. The voice in the ***** whirlpool also appeared in the ears of everyone, but they could all feel that the strength of this evil is also slowly recovering in the blood-colored vortex. Damn it! I didn't expect this Ghost Emperor to actually master ghost skills. Even among the 9 Ghost Emperors, there are only a few people who can use the legendary ghost skills. The 9 Soul Steely also said viciously. It seems that I still underestimate the power of the twin Ghost Emperors. Chang Yu also said coldly. Originally, Wu Jiang felt that this point-grabbing competition would not be so simple, so the secret letter was passed on to their deputy pavilion owner, Chang Yu. A strong man at the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor. When Hongpao Chang Yu came to this infernal corpse forest, he also floated in the dark, in order to give this infernal corpse a fatal blow at a critical moment. But what Chang Yu didn't expect was that the power of the twin ghost emperors was stronger than he imagined. When he confronted and sealed the twin ghost emperors, Chang Yu just happened to be absent, so his estimate of the power of this ghost was wrong. Damn it. Is there no other way? Hudu also snorted coldly, then looked at the blood-colored vortex above the sky. The blood-colored vortex above the sky, although a small gap was opened by a few of them, and then was attacked by the Nine Souls monument with the immortal sword, but apart from the reduced ghost energy, it did not achieve other more powerful effects. The sturdy degree of this blood-colored vortex, the terror has reached the level of the 8th rank Do Emperor. Even if we do our best, we still need 5 7-star Do Emperor level powerhouses to join forces to open it up. Chang Yu also secretly regretted, obviously if he had appeared earlier, then this kind of thing should not have happened. 5. The Nine Soul Monument also shook its head at this time. Obviously, the people here now have lost Xiao Yan, who has no fighting power and no fighting spirit, and the Nine Soul Monument itself is adding Chang Yu, and there are only 3 7-star Do Di. The powerhouse, with the addition of Tianhua Xinghu and Hudu, 2 5-star fighting emperors, and a 6-star fighting emperor in Wujiang, it is obviously difficult to deal with the blood-colored vortex in front of him. You can only go first. Otherwise, it will be troublesome after the evil spirit regains its power. Chang Yu also stopped when he was cut off. Wu Jiang and Hudu. Where are you going? Some of our team members who participated in this competition have been arrested by these people in the ghost world. You hurry up and rescue them. Chang Yu said coldly. Hudu and Wu Jiang also shook their heads, then flew in the direction of a Chang Yu finger. With the departure of Hudu and Wu Jiang, the fighting spirits of the Nine Souls monument above the sky and Chang Yu gradually calmed down. In this way, it was obvious that they had given up their resistance. Hey, I can only escape first. Chang Yu also shook his head, his eyes filled with disbelief. Obviously this time it was his own negligence. I can't blame you for that. The Nine Souls monument also spoke slowly. Obviously, the Nine Souls monument, which has been sealed for thousands of years, did not expect the twin ghost emperors to be so terrifying. Tianhua Xinghu, you did a good job this time. After you go out, you will be able to regain your freedom. The Nine Soul monument also said slowly. Thank you, Senior. Tianhua Xinghu said respectfully. After all, he is also a kind of monster. It was only by chance that he entered the infernal corpse forest, but it was easy to get in and hard to get out. Mu Yingying ignored the conversation between the three, and her beautiful eyes turned slightly in a meeting between the blood-colored vortex above the sky and Xiao Yang behind her. Xiao Yang, what are you doing? Mu Yingying also bit her lip, and obviously found Xiao Yang's actions, but what she just couldn't understand was that Xiao Yang, a boy with the strength of the 4-star Do Di in the early stage, how could he have the courage to deal with this twin ghost emperor, who is as powerful as an 8-star Do Di? Although it is said that the twin ghost emperors at this time have suffered a lot of injuries, and their strength has entered the time of exhaustion, but they are also genuine 8th grade ghost emperors, comparable to the powerhouses of the human 8-star fighting emperor level. Mu Yingying only saw that the blood-colored vortex above the sky continued to expand, and more ghosts kept pouring in, and the gap originally opened by Chang Yu and the others was instantly filled. In the dark, Mu Yingying can also feel that in the blood-colored vortex, a ghost like a heaven-shattering devil is being absorbed by the evil spirits. Once the blood-black vortex is completely transformed into black, then go to the corpse forest. Doomsday. On the other side, Xiao Yang was sitting in the air, his hands were separated from left to right, and a very delicate lotus seed in the center of his hands was slowly standing up, but at this time Xiao Yang's eyes were closed, and his hands wanted to close to varying degrees. It was obviously blocked by an inexplicable force, so the speed was very slow. Above the sky, there was silence. On the ground at this time, Mufeng and Yu Yu had both experienced a great battle, and the fighting qi in their bodies had also been consumed a lot, so their strength had also been weakened to varying degrees. Yueru. Go. After Mufeng finished speaking, he also flew in one direction. Yueru didn't say much, because when Mufeng had just rumored, she told Yueru that she had received orders from Wu Jiang to rescue their participants this time. If those caught are not rescued, once they are merged with evil, the consequences will be too terrifying. Where are they going? Luo Guang also looked at Mufeng and Mufeng tiredly, and apparently also discovered that the Yin Corpse forest couldn't recover his grudge. The battle just now was spent to protect the remaining people. Too much. I don't know, but now we are grasshoppers on a rope. It's better to be together. Qiu Huanyao also said coldly. Obviously, although he didn't like several people at this time, Qiu Huanyao was also a smart person. Both Mufeng and Yueru possessed some high-level pills to restore Do Qi tilde, and they didn't dare to offend them easily with their current Do Qi. Let's go. After speaking, the group of people on the ground followed Yueru and Mufeng, and together with Wu Jiang Hudu, they moved in the opposite direction to rescue those who were caught. At this time, the sky was covered with dark clouds, and the blood-black vortex had grown to a certain extent and then stopped, but an extremely terrifying giant face also appeared in the vortex. You humans just wait to die. Ha ha ha. The ferocious giant face is the face of the previous twin ghost emperors. Humph. Chang Yu also snorted coldly, and then an extremely terrifying Do Qi cage instantly moved towards the giant face in the blood-colored vortex. Bang bang bang. When the terrifying Do Qi cage just touched the blood-colored vortex, it was suddenly swallowed up. It's time to go. Chang Yu also shook his head, and then no longer hesitated. His vindictive aura was instantly pushed to the extreme, and then he waved gently towards the space in front of him. It's just strange that the space in front of him is not turbulent. What's wrong? The Nine Soul Monument also said exhausted. This space seems to be imprisoned. Chang Yu also said with an ugly expression. What? Now it was the Nine Souls Monument's turn to be surprised. The space is imprisoned, unexpectedly, what the two of them are not clear about. Once the space is imprisoned, unless it is a strong man at the level of Dozian, it is impossible to break the restriction of this space. Damn it. Why is this space imprisoned? Isn't it okay when you came in? The Nine Souls Monument also said angrily. Don't get excited, it should have appeared when the twin ghost emperors used their ghost skills before. I'm still careless. Chang Yu also said with a look of resentment. Then he looked at the ferocious giant face above the sky and fell into contemplation. Provoking me to the ghost world is the end of it. You guys just wait for me to be swallowed up by me after my strength has recovered to the peak, and become a part of my ghost world. The harsh laughter also came from the giant face. Is there really nothing I can do now? Tianhua Xinghu also muttered. After a while, they will rescue the others, you go first, I will take care of the rest. Chang Yu also said solemnly. Obviously, the power in front of him is beyond Chang Yu's control, but the greater the ability, the greater the responsibility. So Chang Yu did not shirk at all, and took the next banner. What is this kid Xiao Yang doing? The weak Nine Souls Monument also noticed Xiao Yang at the side, and just saw Xiao Yang. His pupils shrank tightly. A force that made him extremely fearful was that Xiao Yang was born slowly in his hands. This power is... The Nine Soul Monument was also excited. There must be treasures under the soul-suppressing monument. This is unchanged from the ancient times, but although the Nine Soul Monument has guarded the twin ghost emperors for thousands of years, they still don't know what treasures are in the soul-suppressing monument. However, there is no doubt that the treasure in the Soul Requiem monument that he guards has the power to restrain the twin ghost emperors. In other words, the things in the soul-suppressing monument that he guards are the things that the twin ghost emperors are afraid of. At this time, the Nine-Soul monument also felt a familiar smell from Xiao Yang in the soul-requiring monument that he guarded. If it is normal, the Nine-Soul Steely also thinks that Xiao Yang can't do anything, but what the Nine-Soul Steely knows is that Xiao Yang is not only recognized by the treasures in the soul-requiring Steely that he guards, still a disciple of the Golden Dragon King. Even if any of these two identities are released, they will be looted. Because the treasures that can restrain ghosts in the ghost world are rare, let alone let the treasures take the initiative to recognize the owner, which is even more rare. And in other words, the strength, identity and status of the Golden Dragon King are the best among the 7 realms. Being able to be apprenticed by such a strong man really shows how extraordinary this Xiao Yang is. This kid Xiao Yang is really interesting. I hope you can bring us some miracles. The Nine-Soul Steely also said slowly. Then after finishing speaking, his eyes were slightly closed, and the last remaining power in his body was also madly pouring into Xiao Yang. At this time, in order to integrate the powers of these 3, Xiao Yang was using almost all his Do Qi, even with the support of high-level pills that restored Do Qi, he was still struggling to support it. However, with the appearance of an extremely pure force from the Nine-Soul monument, it also relieved Xiao Yang a lot of pressure, and the compression action in his hand became faster. Nine-Soul monument, you are. Chang Yu also seemed to have noticed the movement of the Nine-Soul monument, and then said, "Since this is the end of the matter, then I'll take a gamble." The Nine-Soul Steely also said slowly, and then the power was still being delivered continuously. The power in this kid. Chang Yu didn't notice it just now, but now he turned around and saw that the power in Xiao Yang's body caused all the ghosts to shy away. This is unheard of. Even if it is as strong as his 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse, he cannot achieve this level. What is going on? Chang Yu was also surprised. This kid is the choice of what's in the tablet of the soul. The tablet of 9 souls also said slowly. Okay. Since that's the case, then I'll help you too. After Chang Yu finished speaking, an extremely pure power surged out instantly, and then gathered into Xiao Yang's body. With the influx of 2 extremely pure powers, Xiao Yang's power also skyrocketed at this time. The middle stage of the 4-star Do D. The late 4-star Do D. The late stage of the 6-star Do D. Impressively soared to the level of a 6-star fighting emperor. However, Xiao Yang didn't have time to rejoice. After all, he also knew that this sudden power was only to solve the immediate predicament. At this time, he could not care about any other sequelae. When the heavenly fire sacred tiger saw this, he just wanted to follow suit, but unexpectedly, the giant face in the blood-colored vortex suddenly opened violently, and then he seemed to have discovered Xiao Yang's actions, and a shocking fluctuation was quietly brewing. Not good. Tianhua Xinghu shouted loudly, then rushed out, and then ignored the attack that was still brewing. Humph! A beast, just looking for death. The giant face snorted coldly, and then an extremely terrifying black air instantly enveloped the heavenly fire sacred tiger. At this time, the heavenly fire sacred tiger, with red flames all over his body, faced the pitch-black attack, without a single step, with a fierce look in his eyes, staring at the terrifying attack in the mouth of that giant face. Because the heavenly fire sacred tiger knew that Xiao Yang's attack was their last chance. If they were destroyed when Xiao Yang was gaining momentum, then their consequences would be irreversible. So no matter what you say, you can't let this attack come out. Then go to hell. The giant face also said savagely, and then the terrifying ghostly energy was instantly besieged, and it would drown the entire body of the heavenly fire sacred tiger in a blink of an eye. He, Don't forget me, big tiger. A silver bell-like smile also appeared on Qian Huishenghu. With the appearance of Mu Yingying, the ghost qi that was about to drown the heavenly fire sacred tiger was also instantly evaporated, but on Mu Yingying's body, an azure flame was also beating slowly. The heavenly fire sacred tiger looked up, and it was Mu Yingying. What are you doing here? Go back in danger. Qian Huishenghu also snorted coldly. I don't want it. Since everyone has contributed, I can't be idle, and I will intercept this color with you. The evil in the vortex. Mu Yingying also said casually. When Qian Huishenghu looked at Mu Yingying, he also had some inadvertent touches. Let's go. Mu Yingying also said a word, and then the two of them walked away towards the giant face in the blood-colored vortex, trying to stifle its attack in the cradle. This power. The giant face in the blood-colored vortex also turned his attention to Mu Yingying. The blue flame on Mu Yingying's body just now made him feel quite frightened. Go to hell. The giant face also turned the attack into a target, completely ignoring Xiao Yang's movements, and went towards Mu Yingying's terrifying attack. The attack of the giant face condensed. At this time, it has no less than a full-strength blow that is comparable to that of a 5-star human fighting emperor. Just as the terrifying attack came, Mu Yingying pushed away the heavenly fire sacred tiger, and the terrifying attack also hit Mu Yingying in an instant, and Mu Yingying was too late to defend. The flames seemed to be rendered by the black aura of ghost qi. Just when it was about to attack Mu Yingying's body, a milky white light exploded instantly, dispersing the huge ghost qi attack in one fell swoop. Dare to kill my sister-in-law. After doing all this, an extremely hearty laughter also echoed in the space. With the sound of this voice, Xiao Yang, who was not far away, also felt that a very familiar aura seemed to return. Who are you? The ferocious giant face in the blood-colored vortex also snorted coldly. Hey, you don't care who I am, but it's not your turn to kill this woman. The man also smiled heartily. A rather handsome young man also appeared above the sky. With the appearance of the young man, Xiao Yang's tightly closed eyes also became somewhat moist. Big brother. A voice that ran through the entire infernal corpse forest also appeared, and then several people in the sky saw the young man heading towards the place where Xiao Yang was. It's good to wake up. Xiao Yang also moved the corner of his mouth slightly, and then said lightly, but the excitement contained in his voice could not be concealed. The young man in front of him looked like that Xiao Yi in Xiao Yang's body. Xiao Yi's body is the pure lotus demon fire, but after merging the 23 kinds of flames, she has also produced some mutations that even her master, the Golden Dragon King, did not know, and became a fire elf. And after the first transformation, Xiao Yi also grew from a baby to a handsome young man. The strength has also improved qualitatively. Are you all right? It will take some time. Then leave it to me. Xiao Yang and Xiao Yi, who were in the sky, were talking. After the conversation between the two souls ended, Xiao Yi was also heading towards the whirlpool. You? Who did you say is your sister-in-law? Mu Yingying said angrily at this time. Obviously, although Xiao Yi helped her resist an attack, she was able to resist it at the time, but she would expose some things, and then was shocked by Xiao Yi's words. A girl, a lady, is the most important thing, and it is reasonable to be angry when this man makes such a scene. Ha ha ha, misunderstanding and misunderstanding. Xiao Yi tried her best to get rid of it. Obviously, the relationship between the woman in front of her and her eldest brother Xiao Yang was her own mistake. But you can't blame yourself, can you? The flame aura on his eldest brother Xiao Yang's body is very huge, and he is also a fire elf, and the flame aura on Mu Yingying's body is also quite friendly to the two of them, which is why Xiao Yi misunderstood. Humph. Why don't you give me an explanation? This is not over. Mu Yingying bit her lips slightly, then looked at the blood-colored vortex above the sky, and found that the evil giant face in the blood-colored vortex was also very surprised. "Are you all right?" The heavenly fire sacred tiger on the side was also extremely worried, skipping the place where Mu Yingying was, and said heavily, "Yeah." Mu Yingying also pondered. "How could you just do that? Do you know that you can do it like that?" The heavenly fire sacred tiger also wanted to anger Mu Yingying just now, but found that Mu Yingying's beautiful eyes exuded a slight pride. Tian Huoxinghu shook his head, and then looked at the sinister giant face in the blood-colored vortex not far away. "This is Fire Elf." Chan Yu and Ju Hun Steely, who were on the spot, also opened their eyes, and then they saw the identity of this man. "This kid has more and more secrets." The Nine-Soul Steely also murmured in a low voice, and then no longer hesitated, and injected the last breath of the past into Xiao Yang's body. "It's actually a fire elf." The giant face in the blood-colored vortex was also slightly startled, and then said. Although the giant face was slightly surprised, he could find that the ghosts around Xiao Yi were also very afraid of his flames, and immediately became contemplative. The flames on the woman and this man are not ordinary things. The giant face looked at it for a while, and then without hesitation, the giant face disappeared in the blood-colored vortex, and then the terrifying blood-colored vortex also slowly moved towards the black vortex change. Yin Xie also understands that the situation, at this time, is no longer under his control. For now, he can only absorb the ghost energy in this blood-colored vortex, and restore it to his peak. Then these people outside are also dying. After all, this infernal corpse forest has been manipulated by himself, and it is impossible to escape except for those who are at the level of fighting immortals. As for his ghost skill, the vortex condensed by the fear of death, even a full-strength blow from an 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse would not be enough, not to mention the few people in front of him who were less than a % of Do Qi. However, my ghost skill has a fatal flaw, and the power of any evil soldier in the ghost world can easily destroy it. But Yin Xie didn't think about it either. After all, he had never seen any of the 12 evil soldiers in the ghost world, let alone these humans. Moreover, Yin Xie also found that the aura of this man is not weak, and now the injured self is not his opponent. It's really fast. Xiao Yi shook her head slightly, and then returned to Xiao Yang. Xiao Yi was also very kind to Xiao Yang. After all, since she remembered, she has always been the one with a heavy weight on her back. The man is protecting himself, walking all the way. Xiao Yang sat cross-legged, and the two extremely terrifying invisible forces in front of him were also merged. What appeared in front of Xiao Yang now was an improved version of the Lotus of Quiet, which was based on the Lotus of Quietness, plus the power of the soul and the compression of the power of the soul. Of course, there are some mysterious powers of the Soul Eater talisman. A rather delicate lotus seed was also slowly distributed in Xiao Yang's hands. Success? Xiao Yi also asked. Well, it worked. Xiao Yang seemed to be understating it but only he knew the hardships involved. Fortunately, he had the mysterious power of the Soul Eater talisman, otherwise Xiao Yang would be unimaginable. There is a little problem with the fusion between them, so his end is quite miserable. That's... Mu Yingying also turned around, and then her beautiful eyes stared at the delicate lotus seeds in Xiao Yang's hands. How can there be such a dazzling feeling? Mu Yingying also looked away. It seemed that when Mu Yingying stared at the beautiful lotus seed, her beautiful eyes were sluggish, as if the seemingly small beautiful lotus seed it contains an extremely terrifying power that shocks people's souls. That lotus seed. This kid has such a terrifying fighting skill. The Nine Souls Steely also had a savage gaze, and at a glance he recognized the Lotus of Desolation in Xiao Yang's hands, but even with the strength of the Nine Souls Steely, he looked at the desolation in Xiao Yang's hands. When I was in the Lotus, There was also an unnatural feeling in the depths of my soul, which seemed to be because of the Lotus of Silence. Although it's the first time I've used it, I'm confident that it won't be a problem to seriously injure the twin ghost emperors who are now injured. Xiao Yan also smiled slightly, then quickly devoured the medicinal pill to restore the fighting spirit in his body, although the fusion was completed, but more difficult to come. It's just how to break through the ghost technique of the twin ghost emperors, the defense of the blood-colored vortex of fear of death. Xiao Yang also pondered. Obviously, they only have one chance at this time, and the opportunity cannot be missed, so they must be cautious. The Nine Souls Monument and Chang Yu were also condensed slightly when they heard the words. Obviously, when Xiao Yang was condensing the terrifying fighting skills just now, the two of them said that all the fighting energy in their bodies was transferred to Xiao Yang. Do Qi is also rare and pitiful. Hearing Xiao Yang's words, his eyes narrowed slightly. It was Mu Yingying and the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger, who still had a lot of power. Don't worry, leave it to us. Mu Yingying also patted her slightly, and then assured Xiao Yang. It was obvious that the terrifying fighting skills in Xiao Yang's hands had already made the arrogant Mu Yingying look at her with admiration. Then I'll leave it to you, all you have to do is pretend to attract attention, and we'll do the rest. Xiao Yi also said with a heavy expression. Okay. Mu Yingying agreed cheerfully, and then went straight to the Scarlet Vortex with the Heavenly Fire Sacred Tiger. Are you sure? Xiao Yi also asked. It's less than the second floor, after all, the defensive power of this whirlpool is too terrifying. Xiao Yang said without any concealment. What if you add me? Xiao Yi also laughed suddenly, and then it turned into a milky white light, and merged into Xiao Yang's body. Xiao Yang also didn't understand the meaning of what Xiao Yi said, but out of trust, he let Xiao Yi use it. As Xiao Yi entered Xiao Yang's body again, Xiao Yang also felt an extremely terrifying power slowly flowing from his limbs. At this time, Xiao Yang's strength was still at the peak level of the 6-star Do Emperor. Xiao Yi's possession gave Xiao Yang the power of a more terrifying and violent flame. However, these powers were also great supplements for Xiao Yang. After the final tempering, it also transformed into his own fighting spirit. Before Xiao Yang could rejoice, he heard Xiao Yi's voice. Brother, my flame is no longer the original flame. Xiao Yi's voice also echoed in Xiao Yang's mind. That's... Xiao Yang also knew that when Xiao Yi took out the crystal from her body just now, she found that the flame aura on Xiao Yi's body had changed a lot, and it seemed that there was some spirituality in the flame. And Xiao Yang also knows that this kind of possession is also attached to his body, and both are prosperous. I already have spirituality. The next time I evolve, I should be able to compete with Xingyang. Xiao Yi's voice also said slowly. Holy flame. Wait for me. After Xiao Yang finished speaking, his breath suddenly soared. Xiao Yang had absorbed the vindictive energy of Zhuhan Monument and Chang Yu before, but now adding Xiao Yi's strength, Xiao Yang's strength has skyrocketed. The power of the 7-star Do Di in the early stage. It has fully increased the power of 3 steps. This was something Xiao Yang had never thought of. And this boosting power is just the same as the refreshing power of the secret method. It is the purest power of the 9-soul monument and Chang Yu. It is only limited by time, and it will not leave any sequelae. This is the root of Xiao Yang's daring to let go. With the soaring strength, Xiao Yang also had a solid armor on top of his body. The flames were burning on the fire armor, and there were some mysterious runes that were quite mysterious, as if they had the power to devour all evil. At this time, Xiao Yang in the sky also smiled knowingly, and then felt this terrifying power, an unheard of power slowly condensed under the attack of Mu Yingying and the Heavenly Fire Holy Tiger. This kid is really beyond my expectations. The Golden Dragon King also said in his heart, and then went silent, and Long Yi was also warned by the Golden Dragon King, and did not help Xiao Yang. After all, according to the Golden Dragon King, this kid still has a long way to go in the future, so he can't help him blindly. However, the two of them are always ready. If Xiao Yang has any problems, then the two of them will take action without hesitation. Tianhua Xinghu and Mu Yingying surrounded the blood-colored vortex in the sky one after the other, and then Mu Yingying exuded a terrifying blue flame, while Tianhua Xinghu a fiery red flame, but the fiery red flame also contains a very small azure power. Strange, why is the flame on this woman a little strange? If it is the power of holy flame, the power is too small, but compared to ordinary flames, it is also too powerful. In the blood-colored vortex, Yin Xie also sat cross-legged, and then countless blood-colored vortexes, the ghost qi is also continuously injected into the body of the yin evil. With the injection of ghost qi, some small wounds on Yin Xie's body are slowly healing, and then his strength is also slowly recovering. Boom boom boom. Mu Yingying and Tianhua Sacred Tiger attacked one after the other. The huge flame power shook away the ghost qi at the very edge of the blood-colored vortex, but the next moment, the monstrous ghost qi was also in the sky. Degree to complete it. Boom boom boom. Mu Yingying and Tianhua Sacred Tiger's tireless attacks didn't seem to be very effective, but the two of them were not discouraged at all, and they continued to attack with the fighting spirit in their bodies. Waste. The evil spirit in the blood-colored vortex also snorted coldly, and then stopped looking outside, absorbing the monstrous ghost energy. How come there are so many? Hudu couldn't help but said, the human beings like a hill in front of him were also piled up. Yueru, who came along, bit her lip slightly, and was obviously frightened by the situation in front of her. A human like a hill. If it wasn't for Hudu's words and breath, then it's a pile of corpses. It made people's hearts heavy. Hudu and Wu Jiang circulated their auras, and then an extremely gentle force spread through everyone's body, and then some small black auras evaporated from the people who were arrested. Are these all the people who participated in this point-grabbing competition? Yueru couldn't help but said. It should be almost. Fortunately, we came in time, otherwise if we were one step later. Mu Feng also said. Afterwards, Qiu Huanio and Luo Guang also put down the hill-like people one after another. Fortunately, they have all slowly woken up. This point-grabbing competition is really humble and twists and turns. If I go out this time. Hudu also shook his head secretly. Obviously, the planning and process this time were quite imperfect. That's in the sky. Wu Jiang looked up at the sky after eliminating the black ghosts in everyone's body, but was surprised to find that a very terrifying fluctuation was also from a person in the sky wearing a fire. The figure of the armor radiates out. Xiao Yang, you can definitely do it. Yueru closed her eyes after speaking, apparently praying for Xiao Yang in her heart. The other people, who were in the top 10 of the points-grabbing competition, were also looking at the sky with different expressions. At this time, the people caught in the corpse forest also slowly woke up, and then almost all of them raised their heads and looked at the huge blood-colored vortex in the sky and a flaming figure wearing fire armor. The sword is coming. The figure in the flame armor spoke slowly. This video will end here.